guys, how you doing? Finally back for another review. This menu happens to be one of my most favorite foods in the world. And not just any meatloaf, but my mother's Dutch meatloaf. What we've got here is a 2004 MRE, menu 24, meatloaf with gravy. This is a menu that I have not tried. We didn't have these when I was in the military, so this is going to be brand new for me, and I'm rather excited to break into this thing. And this ration, along with the whole case, was sent to me by that awesome person right there. Thank you very much. I really appreciate not just you, but all of your donations that you've sent to the channel, especially you awesome people that send beer. There's a special place in my heart for you. Now, I don't exactly know how these were stored or the condition of them, but I am hoping, sending my positive waves into this, that it is still good to eat. Well, it is made by Sipaco from Mullins, South Carolina. It's got all the stuff on the bottom, and if you look, it does have a date code on it. Let's try our luck with a peelable seal. Sometimes I am 50-50 with, see, I can't even separate it. We'll give it a, so far the sniff test has passed. And that is everything out of the bag. I find this a little curious. This writing is like really washed out. I don't know if it was because of when they had ink on the rollers and they were making these, or I don't know if these were just left in the factory for a while. The boxes, they don't seem compromised, which is good. I didn't even tell you what this was. So we have some mashed potatoes. Again, it's the meatloaf with brown onion gravy. Well, that should be tasty. Toffee rolls or Tootsie Rolls. Spoon. Cocoa beverage powder. This is a rare thing in this day and age, but seeing how this was issued in 2004. A vanilla sugar cream wafer. I haven't had one of these in an MRE either. Apple jelly. FRH. Accessory packet. We'll take a look at that soon. Crackers. And in this we've got, of course, matches. Chewing gum. What is that? Non-dairy creamer. Coffee. Seems like it might be okay. Crushed red pepper. Salt. Moist towelette. Some sugar. And TP. Well, let's get this stuff made up. While we're waiting for the goodies and the ration heater to hit up, let's take a look at this stuff. And we'll also make some cocoa beverage powder. I'm looking at this, starting to get a little bit of D-lamb on here. Of course, you can see it's from 2004. See if we can get a hiss out of this. A little bit of a hiss. The one thing I like about these is compared to the brand new ones that are coming out, at least they're not like vacuum sucked directly to the packaging. And I suppose we'll put a little bit of this apple jelly on one. Not to be confused with apple butter. Two completely, totally different things. It does have kind of the same type of color, but totally different taste. But then again, this stuff is pretty old. Now this is that vanilla cream wafer. This thing smells awesome. I used to get these all the time when I was a kid because they were cheap and it's all in one piece. And then these are just going to be your average state-of-the-art Tootsie Rolls. And looking at this old school thing, I see it's from the Giannis brothers in Kansas City. Kind of funny, I just posted something related to Kansas City's tourism department on my Instagram page, which kind of makes this a little hilarious. You'll just have to check that out for yourself. And I'm going to forego coffee today, just sticking with my hot cocoa. And then, of course, we have our gum. Okay, got that done. I do admit, it's kind of an odd beverage of choice to have with meatloaf and mashed potatoes, but it's the Army. What are you going to do? All right, I got to admit that heater didn't do the best job, so we're going to have to go with what we've got. Here are the mashed potatoes. They're not all the way super hot, but it's going to have to deal with it. There's a little peeky peek. Sometimes it's a good tip. Fold the bag in half to really help get everything out of there. And then I always take my spoon or whatever and really get in there to... See, ordinarily, mashed potatoes shouldn't like crumble apart like that. But yeah, like we said, it is what it is. And we are going to put a little gravy on that too. And then the meatloaf with the onion gravy. If we can open it, man. It says, I've been in here so long, I don't want to surrender my tasty goodness. You see, it's just one large slab. I'll put just a little bit of that onion gravy over there. That actually doesn't look too bad. Not bad at all. Whether it tastes good is something else altogether. Let me just make sure that we get every little drop. And today, of course, I'm going to use my Korean ROK spoon. It's awesome for this. It's nice and sturdy. And again, it's that spork, so I can really get in here and cut that up. Just so I can give you a little close-up of that. Man, look at that. That is pretty impressive. It doesn't have any funky smells or anything like that. As I'm trying to belch, go figure. Let's go in here and take a look of a cross section, potentially, hopefully. It is nice and soft, like you would expect a meatloaf to be. And of course, we'll list the ingredients down there for you. Well, let's go down the hatch. It's nice and soft. It's tender. It's like a meatloaf, so it's supposed to just kind of fall apart and melt in your mouth. The onion gravy is pretty pleasant too, but this thing has a rockin' aftertaste of like jet fuel. After about 3 or 4 seconds, you're like, this actually kind of tastes pretty good. And that aftertaste hits you and it says, oh man, it's like something just pooped in your mouth. So what we're going to do is, thank gosh we do have some hot cocoa. Maybe this is why they planned this. We're going to try to coat the inside of our mouth with something more pleasant. That definitely helped a whole lot. And for all of you out there, just be careful when you're eating this older stuff. It can affect each of us differently because we all have different reflexes, immunizations, all that other kind of stuff. So use your best judgment when you're eating this old school food. For instance, like if you notice your tongue going a little numb, you might want to stop eating. Thank God mine isn't doing that right now. Take a little bit of this mashed potato with nothing on it. That's actually, it's not too bad, but it just tastes old. It's kind of hard to describe it. It's nice, it's creamy. Again, we'll have what is inside of it down here. But it's just really weird. We'll try a little bit of it with this gravy on here. Maybe this will kind of help it. It does kind of have like a slight buttery flavor, and I believe they say they have some like imitation butter in here, but maybe this gravy will help it out, but then again, maybe it won't. All right, the gravy really ultra helps. It's definitely more gravy in your mashed potatoes. And I think we're probably done with the meatloaf. It is just such a shame that that thing seemed to have died. Well, looking at our apple jelly on our cracker, and you can see we've got a little bit of seepage. But it smells okay. The crackers smell alright too. Don't smell bleached out or anything like that. Well, let's give that a go. Yeah, these are perfectly fine. That's pretty good. Try to get some of my untainted stuff. I'm going to try a little bit of this with this gravy, because you always need that crunch factor or that wow factor when you eat, because you got soft, and at least here you have a little bit of texture. And now I'm spilling on my workstation. Yep, that works really well. So yep, you just break up a little bit of that and you just stick it down here in your gravy. And I'm not eating that again, but yeah, you would just throw it down there and chow down. Now our vanilla wafer cookie. You would almost think there was like two, but it just like this is really just pressed together. Yep. So let's give this one a go. Now, of course, the wafer itself is, like 15 years old. And it is a little stale, but it still has that nice, lovely crunch that you would expect with it. And that vanilla icing frosting in the middle is still nice and sweet. That thing is almost perfect. And then Tootsie Rolls. These things have been in rations so long that it's pretty much a staple of any service person overseas or in CONUS. It's got that nice little toffee, nice chocolatey flavor. And we'll give that a taste. It's nice, it's hearty, it's got that good chewiness to it. And you know that Tootsie Roll, chew to it, wants to rip your fillings out. Almost as good as the day that it came out of the factory. Really good. And what better to wash down a nice chocolatey Tootsie Roll, but more chocolate with some cocoa. Well, everybody, this was a 2004 Menu 24 meatloaf with gravy. Thank you, Jane, for sending this to me. It was absolutely awesome. It's a darn shame that didn't survive, but it's got me motivated that I will probably make some meatloaf this upcoming weekend. Thanks, everybody, for sticking with me, and I will see you all on my next review. Bye.